Hey there, Albedo23 here again. I can probably tell it's some music playing this time. Yep, I got my files back for my new computer. And I got them transferred off my old computer. Got this snazzy disk drive here. Probably can't see it that well. Yeah, it's on the corner. It kind of got plugged up right now. Anyway, in this video, I'm kind of going to do something a little different from what I usually do for my comparisons and from my my thoughts on that I do. This is going to be a little bit of a discussion slash rant that I want to do. Kind of, yeah, just to basically talk, you know, but also kind of get some things off my chest that have been bothering me for a while. Most of the discussion was discuss why I'm an atheist, or at least the reason why I'm an atheist, the biggest reason. Now, people always want to know why I'm an atheist, or why I don't believe in God, or just don't follow religion. You know, just in that simple context. And I always thought, you know, I was kind of, well, it just wasn't for me, or I just couldn't get into it. But it took me a long time ago to find out a good reason why, and actually it was after an encounter with this one guy on the Insider 2 forums, this one person, and as well as a video by that Coughlin I made to this guy Yoka way back then, and kind of explain you know what Yoka was doing. Anyway, so I kind of found a good reason, and probably the biggest reason I can find that why I'm an atheist is because of bullies. Yeah. I know some people are going to say that's pretty shallow of a reason, but as far as I can tell, it's a pretty good reason. The reason is because many of the people I went to school with during elementary school, sorry, a lot of people I went to school with gave me a really hard time. You know, always pushing me around, always picking on me, treating me like less than dirt. You know, sometimes even hurting me. You know, for some, you know, just because they could, you know. And yet these people claim to be Christians, or claim to went to church and all that, you know. And you know, and at the same time, I thought Christ preached against such stuff. I thought he preached against it. Now I can understand, like, when you're in school, you know, and you're like a little kid, you know, you don't have exactly a good concept of right and wrong, you know, you're kind of, you know, you think you can because you can, you know, you think you can do this because you're able to, because of your you know how big you are, or how strong you are, or how much stamina you have, just because you think you're better. But kids do have the capacity to learn very quickly, you know, especially, you know, if taught at the right age, you know, they can learn what's right and wrong pretty fast. And as soon as the brain develops over time, you know, as our brains become a little more hardwired, we start to, you know, take on those traits that we've learned. So yeah, you can say, you know, when we're little kids, you know, yeah, you can probably understand, but when you get older, like into your teens or so, it's unacceptable. And I thought Jesus Christ, you know, he was against such stuff. You know, he was against bullying and all that. He was against such things. You know, I thought he was against that. You know, I thought, nah, then you could probably use the excuse, well, God gave us free will. You know, God gave us free will, and all that, so we can do. True, we can do that. You know, and though I'm not Christian, you know, though I am an atheist, I am a big believer in karma. You know, people will get their comeuppings, you know, eventually. You know, what goes around comes around. It may not happen very soon, or it may not happen for a while, but it will happen. But as I can tell, though, sorry. But as far as I can tell, though, yeah, these people, you know, who claim to be Christians, you know, they give it a bad name, you know, and then there's Christians out there who are good people, who are really good, you know, all that are actually followers of Christ and such. But the fact that the church, you know, allows these people, you know, allows them in, and yet somehow they can freely be assholes, you know, whatever. And it just made me wonder why. You know, why did they act this way? Why did some of these people act such jerks towards people? You know, like they did to me and to others. Yet somehow can find a way to still call themselves Christians, or still find ways that they can still, you know, have their heads held high after that, you know, and a couple people actually gave me the answers to that question. You know, maybe not directly answers to not directly answering my question that I have today, but they do kind of, but they have already. A friend of mine that I went to school with back in East Central, my East Central days, and back in high school, told me that, you know, it doesn't matter how much good you do in the world, you have to save yourself. Yeah, he's a Baptist, so. And like most people down here in Mississippi, most Christians down here in Mississippi are Baptists. And they basically said that you have to save yourself of sin. You know, you have to like either pray it away or do baptism. Doesn't matter how much good you do. You know, all the good work you do does not absolve yourself. Okay, that's very wrong. Okay, I think you know, helping people and doing good is ways to help yourself. I mean, yes, you do need to worry about yourself, but it's also good to be concerned about others. And sometimes doing good for others does do good for yourself. It does. And sometimes sometimes, you know, you do get rewarded. Sometimes you do. You know. So yeah, I think, you know, but. So yeah, I think doing good for others, I mean, that's what Jesus practiced. I mean, he did good for others. He helped others. I mean, it was, so why can't we do that? Why do we have to like save ourselves? Why is only saving ourselves then the only way to get in heaven? You know, and to free ourselves of sin, or basically to be, you know, seen as good in His eyes, in God's eyes. I don't get that. And then, the other answer that my Aunt Brenda gave me is that all you have to do to get into heaven is to accept Christ as the Savior. Well, geez, that's pretty simple, and almost a little too simple, really, when you think about it. Way too simple. In fact, the answers that it gave me, these reasons that people do the things they do, you know, the answers. Or the answers that these people, are probably the philosophies these bullies live by. It justifies their actions. It justifies what they do, and that's wrong. You know, that is pure. That's just wrong. Okay. I know. You know, they're probably not real Christians. You know, people could argue that they're not real Christians. But at this point in time, who's to say what does it take to be a real Christian? I think what it takes to be a true follower of Jesus is to do good. You know, is to do good just like He did. It might be impossible for most of us to do that, you know, because we're not all, you know, saint-like and all that, you know. But I believe Jesus was a hard-working guy, and I think I mean, even though, you know, and that's me as an atheist. I'm talking about that. That's what Jesus taught. But my little brother also kind of made a good point about, you know, about these so-called Christians out there who bullied me back then, who bully people. And they're not followers of Christ, they're followers of Paul. Yeah, Paul. You know, supposedly supposed to be Jesus' greatest disciple of all time. Let's just put it out there right now. I think, and a lot of people out there who know about Paul, who really know Paul, they know he was a douchebag. Okay, Paul was an absolute dick. He pretty much mutilated the words of Jesus. He pretty much mutilated his teachings. He warped it around, and pretty much he warped all the spiritual meanings and kind of took it and ran with it, and just. That's why Christianity in these days and most religion out there different forms of Christianity. It's just so screwed up. That's why it's so messed up these days. And it's not just bullies, not just bullies, but it's murderers, rapists, killers, murderers. Sorry, that's kind of thieves and stuff like that. It allows them to justify what they do. I can absolve myself of sin. I accept Christ as a Savior, or I baptize myself, so I'm absolved from my sin. I don't care, If you do such wrong things, you should be punished for it. And yet, yeah, sometimes they're not, And also, back in my video, I was talking about, where I was asking the question why, just asking the question, does being a conservative Republican make you stronger in your faith? These reasons these philosophies that people live by, it also justifies their actions being, absolute jerks to like other people of different political views who choose to be a Democrat or a liberal, or just choose their political side. It justifies them being a dick to them, without putting any factual findings behind it, just laughing, just treating them like they're less than nothing, and that's wrong. Okay, I'm just gonna put it out there. It's wrong, and for the most part, I'm going to be naming names here. For the people who gave me such a hard time, like Chris Herron, Greg Knotts, sort of, Sherman Smith, oh, definitely, Terry Graham, Emily Smith, all these people who gave me such a hard time in school, who treated me like dirt, who always were just mean to me because they were either physically strong or whatever. Yet somehow I can still find, the Christian faith would absolve them of it, things. Their faith absolves them of any kind of sin or whatever, makes them invincible. You know what? Fuck you. Okay? I know I've done that to you in the past a lot of times, but this time it's real. I mean it. This time I really mean it. You people are. I would call you scum, but that would be an insult to scum. Okay? You people are the reason why I don't believe in God anymore. Why I chose to abandon this religion. Or abandon any kind of religion out there at all. I mean, there's definitely more people out there who I could name, but I won't bother because it'll take me a while, and I also can't remember much of their names, but those people, yeah. You disgust me. And you always will. And for the good Christians out there who don't bully, who've had it happen to them, and who do follow the words of Christ, and sorry, I'm getting kind of emotional here. Who do follow the words of Christ and such, and who do try to do good. You're good people, okay? You're good people, but if you're one of those who thinks you can get away with such actions, get away with your actions, evil things, and still coming to be a Christian, again, fuck you. Anyway, that'll be all. This is Albedo23 saying sayonara.